Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like.
The soft glow of the streetlights illuminated the path, casting eerie shadows beneath the bare branches of the trees. In this hushed world, the whisper of betrayal loomed like a storm ready to unleash its fury. Elle stared into the mirror, her eyes reflecting a darkness that would have once terrified her. The phone nestled on the bathroom counter buzzed for the third time, the sound shattering her fragile calm, sending adrenaline coursing through her veins. She hesitated, but eventually scooped it up, a flicker of hope reminding her of the love she thought was unshakable until now. "You still coming?" Liam's message read. She bit her lip, caught between the warm memories of their laughter shared under the stars and the cold dread swimming in her gut. It had been 2 years since they had first met. Every smile, every tender moment felt like a fragile bubble now, ready to burst at the slightest touch. Last week, that bubble had cracked. The text message from an unknown number, the careless photograph of Liam entwined with another's arms while he was supposed to be working late. It scorched her heart raw. As the seconds ticked away on the clock, Elle ran a trembling hand through her hair, anchoring herself in the reality she had tried to deny for too long. The instincts she had buried beneath layers of love were clawing their way back to the surface, eager to fuel the crackling fire of her next steps. They had spent countless evenings planning a future together. All the while, she had been blind to the possibility of treachery residing in the shadows. With a shaky breath, she typed, "Yeah, I'll be there." The drive to the diner felt endless, her mind swirling with thoughts of the endless possibilities for betrayal. What had she missed? Was it really just a single moment of weakness? Or was there a deeper betrayal festering beneath Liam's charming exterior? The blend of doubt and sadness wrapped around her heart, squeezing tightly. Then, a surge of rage ignited within her, fueling her resolve to confront the man she had loved so completely. Upon arriving, the diner was empty, save for the flickering fluorescent lights and shadows that lurked, reminiscent of her growing suspicion. The scent of grease and coffee invaded her senses as she pushed through the door, and her gaze quickly found Liam slouched in the corner booth, his usual exuberance dimmed, eyes glued to his phone. "Elle!" He looked up, a smile that didn't reach his eyes breaking across his face. "Hey." She slid into the booth opposite him, assessing the fidgeting man who had once encompassed her world. "Sorry I kept you waiting." "Just got a message from work," he said hastily, but the sheen of his lie was palpable. Her heart thudded heavily, fighting against the betrayal that tumbled into her mind. "Is everything okay?" she asked, forcing her voice to maintain an even tone, despite the tempest brewing inside her. "Yeah, of course, everything's great," he replied, but the light in his eyes waned with every word. Elle studied him, searching for traces of sincerity amid the wall of deceit she feared surrounded him. "Are you sure, Liam? Something feels off. Come on. Don't start this again." "You know how stressful work has been," he shot back, a flicker of frustration passing through his features. "This isn't just about work, is it?" she pressed, refusing to let her heart be soothed by any half-truths. "Just tell me if there's something going on, something you need to share with me." His expression hardened and he looked away. That was the moment she knew, worse than she could have imagined, that his silence spoke volumes, truths concealed by love's sweet lies. Outside, the wind howled, sending a shiver through the glass windows. It echoed her tumultuous inner conflict, pulling her back to the moment she had discovered the truth of his betrayal. "Why are you acting so distant?" He finally swiped his phone off the table, and her heart sank when she caught a glimpse of a message. Her name mentioned casually among flirty exchanges. Her stomach twisted violently, as reality struck her with the weight of 1,000 bricks. "Is that why you've been so preoccupied? Because of her?" She barely managed to whisper, her voice breaking as the hot tears threatened to spill over her carefully curated facade. Liam's expression shifted, defensive as he leaned in closer. "Elle, it's not what you're thinking." "You know I would never." His voice cracked, and she immediately recognized the underlying guilt laced with panic. "Liar!" she spat, her voice gaining strength through each word that cut like a knife. You've been seeing someone else behind my back, haven't you? She felt the betrayed love surging, demanding acknowledgement of what was happening. The air was electrified, crackles of tension weaving around them like a storm ready to break. "It's complicated," he replied, lowering his gaze to the table as if the wood held the answers he couldn't voice. Elle felt the culmination of every moment they'd shared collapse around her. The weight of love turned toxic. Complicated? Complicated. You think this is just a game? It's all so simple for you. You've betrayed every promise you ever made to me. At that, Liam's face blanched, the guilt spilling over into desperation. It's not like I wanted it to happen. I never meant to hurt you, Elle. But his words fell on deaf ears, drowned out by the painful crescendo of her heartbreak. Then why did it happen? He shook his head helplessly, and she could see the truth carved in the lines of his face, the exhaustion of averting her gaze and stretching her trust thin. Elle leaned back, the fire in her heart morphing into something colder, sharper. You think I won't fight for myself? You think I'll just roll over and let you have your cake with two different people? You don't know me at all. There was a sadness in his eyes, a flicker of remorse that felt almost like a candle struggling to stay lit in a gale-force wind. Yet it wasn't enough to soothe the ache lodged in her chest. "I'm leaving," she declared, standing abruptly, her chair screeching against the vinyl floor. "Keep your lies and your deceit. You are not worth my time or my tears anymore." Without looking back, she stormed out of the diner, the icy night air slapping her face. Each breath felt like a struggle as memories of laughter and touches clawed at her heart, wanting to bring her back into a moment before betrayal had altered everything. But beneath that initial wave of despair, anger raged, thrumming through her veins like a wildfire. It would be easy for her to walk away, forget, and heal slowly with time. But that wasn't enough. Not for her. Not for her. She wanted him to hurt, to feel the betrayal he had inflicted on her. She wanted him to know that his actions had consequences. The thought was intoxicating, and the plan began to take root. Days slithered into nights, each passing hour intensifying her resolve. She kept her head down, appearing composed before friends and family. But inside, the betrayal churned like a tempest crashing against her soul. The way Liam had looked at her, so confident that he could slip through the cracks of their love, had locked in the decision to make him pay. It would be an act of vengeance, and not just for her. There were others, too, who had shown her the ugly faces of deceit, slinking through the underbelly of trust. They would all be exposed. With every beat of her heart, she prepared, gathering information, anyone who had stood against integrity in their tangled relationships. The nights grew darker, where she owned her skills in secrecy, finding the confidence that had eluded her in bloodied pasts. As the moon waxed and waned, the anchor birthed strategies within her mind, revealing opportunities for Liam to feel the weight of her wrath. She wasn't just going to get even. She was going to reveal the cowardice of betrayal for all to see. The first thread to tug upon was Samantha, a work colleague who had whispered sweet nothings in Liam's ear. The plan began to unfurl like a ribbon being pulled from a gift box, adorned with distrust. All she needed were the right tools to make her entwined web of deceit ensnare her targets. The stage was set, and with each passing moment, she moved, gathering intel like pieces of a puzzle, connecting dots of betrayal that would fracture everything Liam held dear. As the final touch, she had a hidden ally, an unexpected friend with motives of his own, paving a way for her to rise from the ashes of heartbreak into an architect of vengeance. For Elle, the game had begun, and the end was nowhere in sight. The path of revenge was fraught with danger, but for each betrayal unveiled, she savored the possibility that something far greater awaited. In the chaos of unraveling lies, she would find her truth, and Liam would learn that the heart could be both a weapon of love and an instrument of pain. The following week was far from calm. Elle wove her strategies carefully, balancing the facade of grief and devastation with cunning determination. She scoured through her social circles, probing for the kind of dirt that would drag Liam, Samantha, and anyone else involved into chaos. In her mind, the clock ticked louder. Each passing day tightened the knot of anticipation and revenge coiling around her. Elle had become a ghost of the woman she once was, unrecognizable. Friends remarked on her unusual tranquility, the light in her laughter flickering only half-heartedly at best, all the while oblivious that darkness had taken root in her soul. She became a skilled observer, absorbing every whisper, every trivial detail about Liam and his associates. One fateful Friday night, Elle found herself at a gathering at an upscale bar downtown, a second home for the city's elite, where deceit mingled with cocktails and betrayal lay thick in the air like smoke. She acted unfazed, a radiant smile plastered on her face as she greeted acquaintances, but inside, her heart was heavy with the incendiary plans brewing beneath the surface. As she sipped her drink, her gaze drifted toward a corner booth where Liam sat with Samantha, their laughter ringing hollow against her eardrums. Each chuckle was a dagger in her heart, twisting deeper as she envisioned the betrayal playing out like a cheap horror film. They were oblivious to her presence. Their world was enveloped by shadowy indulgences, unknowing of the storm that awaited. It was then that she spotted her opportunity. Jennifer, a mutual friend with ties to both Liam and Samantha, had always been known for her loose tongue. Elle snuck up quietly, slipping into the seat beside her, offering an innocent conversation starter. "Hey Jen, you look amazing. How have you been?" The facade of friendliness was easy to maintain. As they exchanged pleasantries, she deftly steered the conversation toward Liam, priming Jennifer without her knowledge. "Have you seen how happy Liam is with Sam lately?" Jennifer snorted, her inhibitions slickened by the alcohol. "Yeah, can you believe he moved on so fast? He was really into that girl who was always around, you know." She gestured vaguely, oblivious to Elle's eyes narrowing with vindictive glee. As the conversation deepened, Elle masked her triumph with forced laughter, planting subtle seeds of discontent around Liam's name. She dropped little hints about secrets, planted rumors about his unshakable charm, and framed his behavior with darker implications. By night's end, she could see the wheels in Jennifer's mind, turning, piloting the growing distrust of Liam's motives. She didn't know how it happened, but it felt all too easy to catch the webs of betrayal spinning wildly, tangling innocent souls, unwilling to see the darkness at their doorstep. As Elle departed the bar, adrenaline coursing through her veins, she felt a profound sense of empowerment enveloping her. The pieces were moving, as she had hoped. But it was time for the bigger play. She needed evidence, a titan of a scandal that would bring tumbling walls crashing down for Liam and Samantha. The following days turned into a blur of calculated moves, but she found her prize in a deceptively simple catch, a private event that Samantha hosted at her upscale apartment. It was a swanky affair filled with potential, not merely a social get-together, but an opportunity that Elle recognized with newfound clarity. A carefully crafted invitation slipped through Elle's fingers, led her directly to the heart of the tempest she so desired to unleash. The event was sprawling, but she targeted a specific guest, another woman Liam had previously been entangled with, one whose taste for revenge mirrored her own. They struck up an easy conversation, and, by the end of the night, Elle had wedged her foot in the door, seducing her into the idea they could both benefit from exposing the deceitful nature of their mutual ex. A week later, Elle had gathered enough evidence to execute her plan. A series of text messages between Samantha and Liam lit up her phone, explicit messages suggesting they had moved far beyond the flirtations, leading to rendezvous that spoke of deeper connections. It was everything she needed, purely incriminating. The day arrived, and Elle stood in front of the bathroom mirror yet again, the reflection staring back at her reminiscent of someone she no longer recognized. Still, buried beneath complex feelings was a single goal. She would tear down Liam's life as he had demolished hers. No longer content with shadows, she was prepared to scorch those remnants, exposing every lie to the light. That evening, she gathered her allies, inviting Jennifer and a few others to a small gathering of her own, indirectly targeting the truth she was about to unveil. She cast a confident smile, every word measured and calculated as she brewed exhilaration among her friends. The plan was swift and merciless. She'd arranged for Liam to crash this little gathering unwittingly. When Liam finally appeared, His presence sent a wave of satisfaction coursing through Elle. He seemed disarmed, as if oblivious that his very world was about to explode in vibrant chaos. Nothing could dull the edge of excitement. She felt like an artist honing in on her masterpiece. She embraced him warmly, as if his betrayal had never existed. "Wow, glad you could make it," she remarked with a saccharine edge in her tone. "We've missed you." His eyebrows knotted together, and she could almost sense his uncertainty radiating like a glow under candlelight. Small talk ensued, but Elle held back the layers of laughter she wanted to unleash. She knew they were mere threads in a tapestry about to unravel. NBSP. As the night progressed, she engineered the scenario, perfectly waiting until the time was right. A fateful moment arrived as she offered everyone a drink to toast the night, pretending to include everyone but secretly steering it toward the pot she had been brewing. "A toast to friendship," she said, raising her glass. Mid-toast, she shifted, allowing the opportunistic chance to present itself. "And to those who don't deserve our friendship." The words hung in the air. Silence befell the group, broken only by Samantha's furtive glance across the table and Liam's palpable unease. Then, with the flourish of an incendiary gesture, Elle's phone rang, revealing an incriminating thread across the screen. "Oh, sorry. I can't help but notice it's your turn now, Liam. Right? You might want to check this out." The room spiraled into chaos as she displayed message after message gracing their screens. "Look, Samantha, what's this about? Meet me at the hotel and I can't stop thinking about you." A little too friendly, wouldn't you say? The eyes of the room widened, caught between horror and disbelief as Liam stared, fear tracing panic across his features. Samantha's face blanched, a crumbling wall of composure collapsing as Elle continued, steady in her vengeance. Nearby guests began murmuring, judging as the betrayal spiraled like wildfire, igniting fury within each of them. Liam, trapped in a cage of his own making, tried to deflect, pleading innocence. "Elle, no! You don't understand." But his pleas were drowned, soaked in the betrayal so deeply woven around him. "Understand what, Liam?" How mere words can destroy everything. Or how, the moment someone lies, they lose all rights to love. Each syllable felt like nails being driven into his heart, each confession ringing hollow in front of the audience he once held dear. The climax peaked, every betrayal laid bare for all to witness. The shock rippled through the crowd, a cacophony of betrayal, wine glasses clinking nervously. Elle's heart thrummed with victory as every lie and secret he'd managed to conceal erupted forth. She cast a dagger smile towards Liam, the embodiment of vengeful triumph reflecting on her face. But she wasn't done. This was just the beginning. "Oh, and let's not forget the cursed plots you have spun in the shadows." She motioned to the other woman, who felt an unyielding link. Before Liam could defend himself, Elle spun the room into laughter of disbelief, overshadowing him in a wicked chorus of exposed sins. The crowd erupted, questioning, scornful of his broken sincerity, driven to enjoy the public humiliation. Elle took a step closer, her voice a razor now. "And you think of love as a game, don't you, Liam? But in this game called life, your move just cost you everything." Panic sank into the man she once loved, his demeanor diminishing further, realizing every ally around him had become yet another ghost of loyalty he had betrayed. Elle relished in the chaos his downfall wrought as she delivered her final blow. "In life, they say you reap what you sow. And I can see you planted a lot of seeds." She paused for effect, allowing the whispers to breathe freely. "But I don't think you ever realized it's harvest time, did you?" The laughter escalated, a symphony of mockery inviting further humiliation upon Liam, the seeds of his deceit promising eternal regret. This was the moment she had long been waiting for, every spark of vindication blazing through her as she prepared to sever the last connection to his once cherished status. He had lost it all tonight, in front of the once admiring audience, transformed now to rabid wolves thirsting for revenge. She drew the final card. "Oh, and one more thing to truly bring it all home. Never forget how your darkest betrayal began. because from now on, you'll only be known as the man who lost the love of his life and his dignity in one sweeping night. Repeat after me. Don't, and done for good. You called me a segregated mess in that car, but look how you've put yourself in the driver's seat for this one. Her voice became almost lyrical, every insult woven into an anthem of his downfall. As the air filled with echoes of laughter and pointed fingers, she couldn't help but admire her work. The man who once held her heart, shattered like glass before her, was now nothing but a memory, reduced to a criminal brand in the eyes of those who had once revered him. She had stripped away the illusion with ruthless precision, and just then, standing among the humiliated guests, Elle felt as though a heart forged from lost love was reborn in vengeance. In that very moment, she understood the true meaning of catharsis, savoring each note of their laughter, each particle of disdain showering on the man who dared betray her. Thus, the echoes of his fall would forever trump her former love, a final punchline sealing his fate as it played over and over in her mind. An irreversible shift, where she had emerged from ashes as a phoenix, no longer defined by someone else's betrayal, but rather empowered by the dark retribution that had carved her anew.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like.